Hey everybody, welcome back to a 10-minute Marvel. I'm Petter, and we're continuing our Agatha All Along talk. I've done 3 videos already on episode 7, but now let's look forward to episodes 8 and 9. Because we only have 1 week left of Agatha All Along, and that doesn't... 2 episodes that I'm sure are going to be great, but I'm really curious as to where this is going to go. I'm not going to say any, spoilers for what's happened on Agatha All Along. I have no knowledge as to what's going forward. The last kind of extra bit of knowledge, the Funko spoilers, that was already revealed, and you can check out that in my Rio character confirmed video that I put out today. So everything that I'm going to be talking about is guesses going forward for Agatha All Along. We have 2 episodes left, and we have to get to the end of the road. And I think there are a few different things that need to be paid off somehow. First off, we have to probably gain a better understanding or clarity around the Scarlet Witch. This is kind of the first question, thing that I think we need to know a little bit more about. And I don't want to know if the Scarlet Witch is truly alive. I don't need Elizabeth Olsen to show up as the Scarlet Witch. But to confirm at least potentially where her soul is, because I don't think we're going to truly understand where she is, where her body is, or if she even has a body anymore. But I think her soul is going to be, that's going to be revealed. That's one of the theories, kind of ideas that I have for it. At least kind of that end big picture thing. But I want to kind of break down a little bit more about what I think we're going to see in those 2 episodes. I think the first thing that we're going to see is a little bit more of on the road and then a flashback. I think we're going to have the teen and Jennifer Kale questioning Agatha as to why she worked with Rio. What drew her to death? Because I think it's an important question, and I think it's going to lead us into a confrontation of some sorts. I don't think the confrontation with death is necessarily... I think it is going to be kind of the finale of the show. But I think there's going to be a secondary confrontation first. I think there's going to be a secondary confrontation with death where Jennifer Kale, where death goes after the teen. And Jennifer Kale is going to have to finally truly embrace her powers and come to realize that she was not truly blocked, or that the blocking has been broken, and she is able to heal / save the teen. I think when she truly believes that and comes to an understanding of that, she is going to be kicked off the road. And we see her crawling out of the ground back into Westview. I think that's going to be when that happens, and that might even happen... I think that will happen at the end of episode 8. So episode 8, my thoughts are we probably get some flashbacks, and then we get that confrontation, that first confrontation. Then we get the final trial in the last episode. And I think we've seen some footage from that where it's Agatha and the teen almost looking like they're in an asylum, they're in a padded room, they've been cut off from everybody else, and it's just them. And I'm not sure who this trial is for or potentially how it's going to work, but I think it's going to be I think it's going to truly be Agatha's trial. The show is Agatha All Along. It's not Wiccan. It's not the Children's Crusade. It's not a comic book storyline that has happened. So I think that this final trial is going to be Agatha's because it is about Agatha. And I think she is going to have a challenge, a decision to make. I think that she is going to have started to remember why she potentially loved Rio, but also why she hates Rio now. Rio calls that out and questions whether Agatha truly remembers why she hates Rio in episode 2. I believe it's episode 2, or is it the very end of episode 1? Either way, early on. And I think that Agatha is going to have a choice to make in this episode. Her choice and her trial are basically going to be, I need to decide whether I want power, whether I want to steal the teen's power, kind of playing out a storyline that's happened before. Something that I think we'll see in episode 8, where we gain a better understanding of Rio and Nicholas Scratch and the events that occurred there, and how Agatha made a choice. She made a choice to sacrifice Nicholas. And I've put out this theory before, and I'm sticking to it. I think, though the team did also question something that we've all questioned before, which is, has Agatha actually walked the road? I think that Agatha made a deal with somebody, probably Death, probably Rio, about how she was able to get her powers, how she's able to absorb the powers of others if they blast her with their powers. And I think that that cost her Nicholas. But we've heard this idea that Nicholas was sacrificed. And I think the reveal is going to be that no, Nicholas hasn't truly been sacrificed. Maybe his body was sacrificed, but it's more than that. I think, and again, this stems from, sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit, but this stems from the fact we haven't seen the scene where the teen is questioning Agatha on why she lets everybody say the bad things about her, and she says because it's that much worse. Now, that could be a scene that just never happens, but I'm wondering if it wasn't just purely that she sacrificed, but she sold. She sold Nicholas Scratch's soul to the devil, to Mephisto. Could we even get a Mephisto appearance? I do. Well, we'll get to that. But she not only intentionally gave up her son, but she intentionally gave the soul of her son, gave her son to somebody who is purely evil, who maybe it was she thought it was out of good, but it truly wasn't. That's that's the thing that I kind of wonder about, is what level of on purpose did she do this? And maybe even with that, she sacrifices, sells Nicholas away, and then tries to make a deal with death. And maybe even does make a deal with death to try and get Nicholas back, but that's costing her in the bodies that she is leaving behind. So I'm going to do a separate video coming up here on any post-credit scenes and talk about what post-credit scenes we maybe could have. And I'll just tease Mephisto, possibly one of them. But I want to talk about how it may work and a couple different options. So that's kind of how I think the story is going to go. Agatha's going to be given that choice at the end of, does she do the same thing she did before? Does she give away Billy for power? And can she truly do that? And I think she'll make the right decision, but it's going to be at the behest of Nicholas Scratch. What we've seen previously with the Ouija board episode, I think that we're going to gain a better understanding of that, and Nicholas Scratch is going to intervene, at least his spirit, or possibly physically, show up and basically be like, you have to let me go. There's nothing you can do. You made this deal. You have to be willing to say goodbye. And once you say goodbye, maybe it was a contract, maybe it was something like that, where the terms could come to an end eventually. But Agatha has to say goodbye to let that come to that point. Let me know your thoughts on this theory, idea for how the series might go. And yeah, check out the video that I'm going to do on potential end credit scenes. And check out the other theory and reaction videos that I've done for Agatha All Along up through episode 7 here. Catch up, let me know which ones you think may potentially pay off. Or check out the other videos that we have here on 10 Minute Marvel. We have other videos on news and rumors. I'm going to be trying to focus on doing more and more of those coming up, especially around rumors. Just doing some quick videos and talking about how those work, or potentially why Marvel is changing some stuff. But we also do videos on comics and then Marvel trading cards as well, pack openings, stuff like that. And if you want to dive into Agatha All Along episode 7 and our thoughts on where this is going to go, join us for the podcast. Comes out every Monday or night or Tuesday morning. And yeah, we're going to be talking about episode 7 in depth there. You can find it here on YouTube. Simply click on the channel, subscribe if you don't mind, and then click on the podcast tab, or you can find it wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcasts from. But with that, I'll see you next time.